Must win game. Stupid Winnipeg.
Good morning, all. Well, this is it. We got to at least get a split, right, on this this homestand, I hope. I hate when I have to keep hoping for splits at home. I really am getting so sick and tired of it. This is one thing that's kind of ruining this year for me, is our play at home. Let's hope today the kids do something special. Okay, let's take a look at something, guys, before we get into this. I want to look at Winnipeg's last 10 games. The Jets come in not red hot. They come in 6-4 their last 10. They lost their last game, and they're 10-8-1 on the road. They're really good at home. They're 16-6 at home. That's where they're really unbeatable, okay? So the 10-8-1 on the road, they're beatable. And the Sabres, yes, are beatable at home. The Sabres are 9-10-2 at home. We're 7-3 our last 10, and we've lost, of course, our last 2 games. Sabres sit 20-17-2 after 39 games. And the wild card, Sabres are currently 6 points, luckily 6 points out of a playoff spot with a game in hand. So our game in hands are dwindling on certain teams, especially Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's won their last 2. Otherwise, we're 5 points behind the Islanders with 3 games in hand. And then 10 points behind Washington with 5 games in hand. We will, of course, guys, make up all these games in hand eventually. But I don't want to really focus more on just the home thing right now, guys, than I do the playoffs, to be honest. I want the Sabres to get this home thing resolved. Because before you know it, it costs you the season. You can't be a 500 or under 500 team at home and make the playoffs. I can't remember the last time that happened. It might have happened maybe back in the day when 16 out of 21 teams got in, maybe back in that era. That's it. I cannot recall, especially in the parity era, which is 16 out of 32 getting in. Half the league now misses the playoffs, not one quarter, half. So this is really, I think, guys, it's I won't say a must win. If there is a must win in the first half of the season, this might be it. I would like to win at home, at least be 500 at home, and we'll worry about that again later before we go on the road. I just want the Sabres to somehow figure this thing out at home and win 10 in a row on their home ice. Just go crazy at home all of a sudden. This is the one thing the kids have not figured out. It's the one thing they just seem to not be able to figure out yet. And it might not happen this year. It just might not. It might be too soon in their development, guys, that we are putting too much on them way too early. This is the youngest team in hockey. We're going to have to be patient. I'll keep saying it. We got to be patient. And there's going to be some heartbreak along the way where we don't understand, like the Philadelphia game. I don't think many of us seen that coming. And it's like, sometimes this will happen, and then we'll do something special like win in Boston the way we did and look ready to go crazy, and we were. And then come home, and then it starts with this Philadelphia thing. And we haven't been able to snap out of this since, because I don't believe there's any excuse losing to Seattle in that game. There's just no excuse. If you're not motivated to beat a team that you've never beaten in your history, when will you be motivated? They should have found every single reason in the book to win that game and not lose that game. Let's remember, they did lose, right? So they didn't come out with the win there. So today, we will probably, I don't know if anybody has heard who's in nets. Let me just check that, guys. I didn't check that. I'm half awake still. Take my little Rosie out for her walk because she's waiting. But she already let me know she was waiting on the kitchen floor earlier, so she's okay for now. Let's take a look, guys, just quickly. I want to see in the Buffalo website if they're saying anything here. Let's just see what they're saying now. They're not saying anything there. No, doesn't look like there's any news on who might be in nets. Hey, we're closing in on Ryan Miller night, guys. That's January 19th. This is for the games I wished I lived in Buffalo. January 19th. It's going to be a special thing to talk about next week, guys. All right. Yeah, no, it doesn't really say. They're not going to say, I guess. We'll figure it out at game time. It doesn't really matter who's in nets, believe it or not. We got to find a way to win this game anyway. They might give it to Comrie. They just might. So we will see, how this goes. So look, we have got to not only just figure out a way to win, we got to get back on the road where it's safe. We just got to get out of our building again. I'm so sick of losing in Buffalo. So we'll have to figure a way to deal with this eventually. But this will be a start, win this last game, get on the road again, see what we can do there, and try to figure this out again. Because sooner or later, guys, what happens, you're not going to win forever on the road either. And that's where the season starts to seesaw on you all of a sudden, It's like, this is why I was hoping this homestand we'd nab 3 of these games. I really was. And now I'm hoping for 2. And that really sucks, especially after winning the first one against Mini the way we looked. We looked so damn good in that game, the way we were skating. And then we come out with that game against Philadelphia where I give them most of the credit, not really criticize us. Their game plan worked tremendously coming into that game. But last game, I think, was psychological more than it was anything. It's not like they outplayed us. It's just psychological what happened. They were intimidated by this team in the third period for some reason. And it's like, no, guys, you can't do that and then try to come back. It's like, no, this is the NHL. You got to win when you got the opportunity. And when you have 2 leads in your home ice, you can't close the game out. For me, it's a mental thing, what's going on with the boys there. So we shall see tonight. We will hopefully come out of this healthy. Either way is the main thing. Guys, we're approaching the first half of the season. Maybe we'll look back after 41 games. Maybe I'll do a video on that. We'll look back after 41 games at the pros and cons of the first half of the season. So far, it's been a very entertaining first half, guys, no matter what. I know we're not in a playoff spot, but if you would have told me we'd be the top scoring team in the NHL 41 games ago, or 39 games ago right now, but let's say at the beginning of the season, I never would have believed it. It really wasn't something that crossed my mind. I knew we'd score more goals this year, but to be number 1 or right up there, I don't know if we're number 1 anymore. Actually, after the last 2 games, Boston's probably number 1 now. So I'll have to look at that too. We'll see right at the 41 game mark, though. That's what I want to check. Where are we at the 41 game mark? Maybe we'll do a half season breakdown and look at things that we need to improve on. And I mean, we know some of the glaring things are, of course, our defensive play, our physical play. Those are the glaring things. But what about the little things, the intangibles? How's our power play trending? I find it's not been trending too good lately. And the numbers don't say it, but what I see on the ice is that the power play doesn't look as dominant right now. So we will see if special teams comes through today. We're going to need to play 60 minutes against Winnipeg, okay? This team this year. All right, let's look at just the standings before we close this up. This team this year not only has been a surprise, they're 26-14. Their goals for and against is plus 27. They're good at home. They've been steady all year. This has been a strange year in hockey for some teams. Like, I thought Ottawa would be a lot better. Detroit, I thought would be a bit better even than what they are right now. There's just teams I thought would be better. I think we're about maybe where I thought we could be. I wasn't sure, really, what to expect with the Sabres. The Islanders have surprised me with their good start this year. There's just been some surprises, But if we can nab this one, and then we can, at least settle our nerves down, get on the road, go into Nashville, who we got on Saturday, and figure it out there. Then we got a home game again against Florida. So guys, we've got to sooner or later get our act together at home, but I would just like to win this game, be done with this homestand, get on the road, win again, come home, feel fresh, you know what I mean? And go into that game against Florida with a bit of revenge after they beat us early in the season, you know? And we didn't end that game with wasn't very sportsmanlike. The Sabres at the end of that game weren't too happy, so. Let's see if the boys hate losing so much they win today. That, for me, is the bottom line. Do they hate losing so much that they want to avoid a losing streak at all costs? Because right now, guys, we're facing a losing streak right in the eye. Let's see what they do tonight. All right, guys, see you in the next one.